And welcome out here to Woodland Park in Columbia, Tennessee for this quarterfinal matchup between Jimmy Taylor and Dustin Nelson. Both of them are at the tee, ready to go at hole one. We'll take you there in just a minute. Stay tuned. All right, we are here live at hole one at Woodland Park. Jimmy Taylor ready to tee off this first hole, US Amateur Matchplay Championship quarterfinal. And he had a powerful backhand shot, went to the right side of the fairway. I'm joined here by Darius Turrentine. Darius, that was a great tee shot there by Jimmy Taylor, wasn't it?
No, it was good. He hung it out there. The wind didn't seem to do anything crazy. Moving right towards the road, but I think he came up just short and left Hazard there at the end. So, good shot there.
All right, Dustin Nelson now with his first shot in this quarterfinal round. And he got a little bit of a left hyzer there. It's crashing hard left, but that is just where you want to be with this alternate basket hugging the left side of the fairway.
Yeah, he definitely put a good bit of hyzer on it. Laid it out there and just landed right in the middle of the fairway. Again, as we mentioned before on this hole, the two obstacles, the tree line on the left side and the road OB right. Both players stayed in bounds, so we should see some pretty routine upshots here and see if we can get a couple birdies on the first hole.
Yeah, and that would obviously be a great thing to see. We have not seen that happen too many times here in this Match Play Championship at Woodland Park. A lot of guys have had the opportunity to tap in for a birdie and for whatever reason have missed. Maybe it's nerves. I mean, who knows?
Yeah, I mean, it's always getting that first hole out of your belt no matter how great the weather is. Speaking of which, we got freshly mowed fairways here. Not much wind so far. Probably perfect weather if you ask me. Yeah. So I expect to see some good golf today, and like you said, these guys, they've both got one round underneath them, one wind underneath them, so I expect to see not so much nerves and just more good golf.
Yeah, the weather forecast is perfect today. 75 degrees right now as we're approaching the 540 mark, cooling down to 73 degrees by the end of this match with a cool 69 by sunset. So perfect weather for some disc golf today, like you said, Darius. And it looks like Jimmy Taylor will be up next with his second shot, hole one. And he got a little bit of a turnover there on that backhand shot, but it's crashing out nicely toward the basket. He's just on the edge of the fairway within about 15 feet.
That was a really good shot, John. Hazard right over the basket.
All right, Dustin Nelson now with his second shot. And it's just a nice, easy toss toward the basket. He's also going to be about 15 feet out. Looks like he's not too happy with that approach though, Darius. I think he wanted to be right under the basket.
Yeah, it looks like the downhill upshot kind of got to him. He just left it a little low and it just kind of stopped short. I mean, I'd say both players are equal distance. Dustin may be a little further out, but we're looking at 15, 17 feet, so it shouldn't be too bad there.
Yeah, definitely makeable for both of these guys. But we've seen a lot of spit outs on one, like we mentioned.
Yeah, no,
after the
like
tee
you
shots.
said, one hasn't been kind to people so far this year. Hopefully, with more matches coming up later this week, hopefully the table's turning on these guys here.
Yeah. I mean,
Looks like Dustin's going to be out.
the excuse of having Corona rust is going to wear off here pretty soon. Okay, here's Dustin Nelson, third shot. And it is just a little bit low. So Jimmy Taylor, early opportunity to take the lead in this match. And he's just inside the rough there. Up and in, solid opening hole for Jimmy Taylor. He takes hole one, he's now one up. We'll be at hole two in just a minute, stay tuned. We're back, hole two. Jimmy Taylor has the tee, he's one up. He gets a great turnover on that backhand shot, Darius. He traveled a good portion of the 275 feet up to the basket.
Yeah, that was a good shot. Good flex line all the way up there.
All right, Dustin Nelson now. And
He
also
had
a smooth release.
pretty similar line there, just a little low, but he had a good skip there. Both players have good putts at it. You know, those are two good shots, textbook, right down the middle of the fairway. I think Dustin just wanted his a little higher than that, but both had really good end results there.
Yeah, Dustin Nelson just a smidge closer to the basket, I think, and he's really going to be looking to redeem himself here on hole two. He's got to get a two here.
Yeah, you know, and you called it, John. Hole one, a birdie got the point there. It just that's what it takes. And like I said, it's tough, you know, going down early. So this one would be a huge one if he could sink his putt. Even if Jimmy gets his putt, you know, it's just going to get some confidence back in Dustin after hitting the cage on that first hole.
Yeah, this is new territory for Dustin Nelson. This is his first time ever in the United States Amateur Matchplay, and in his first round, he was on the opposite end where he went up after his competitor missed his first putt. All right, so Jimmy Taylor now, his birdie attempt, second shot, hole two. And it's just a little low, a little right. Dustin Nelson now with his second shot. And it's also just a little low. So
another putt, just a little low there. Both players missed low. So expect it to happen here. I think both players are within drop-in range here. Yeah, for sure.
All right, Taylor now with his tap in for a three. And Nelson also with his drop in. Hole two is a push. Jimmy Taylor one up. See everyone hole three in just a minute. back hole 3, Jimmy Taylor with the tee. He has one up, and it's 560 feet up to the basket. And he was hugging that left side of the fairway with a turnover backhand, but he ends up right in the middle. So good start there for Jimmy Taylor, Darius. And Dustin Nelson also hugging that left side, but he kept it laser straight with a slight left finish at the end.
Yeah.
Wow, he blasted that one.
Oh yeah, he got way up there. Plenty of power there. Hugged the tree line like you said. I expected the disc to start checking up and hosering, but he knew his disc better than I did. That's for sure.
Yeah, it takes a little bit of trust to be hugging that tree line that closely. We saw on Saturday, Drake Abernathy in his match really implode on this hole.
You know, rumor has it, John, that disc still has not been found.
I believe it.
Whether Bradford hired someone in those bushes to take it, or whether it was just that bad of a shot, we're not really sure here. But all we know is that disc is still MIA.
Yeah, we definitely saw the perilous circumstances you can find yourself in if you miss the fairway left. All right, Jimmy Taylor now with his second shot, hole 3. And it's a nice clean release, breaks just left for him. He'll have a nice approach into the green for his third shot.
You know, Jimmy, from watching him play, he's never had a real big arm, real far distance, but he's always been real consistent, straight down the middle kind of player, and that's really what's put him in this position here. Is he's solid. He plays a simple game and keeps it close. As you can see, Dustin's drive was easily 120, 150 feet further.
Yeah, Dustin Nelson has the big arm. That holes like this really cater to the players with the big arm. He had a drop in for a 3 in his first round. So here's Dustin Nelson, try to do the same thing, hole 3. And he just clipped a tree branch. Otherwise, I think it would have been close to the basket.
Yeah, that limb definitely took a lot of momentum off of his shot there. He's not going to be too happy with it, especially after being in such a great position off his drive. But he's still in really good shape there.
Yeah, it'll be probably 40 feet to the basket.
Yeah, I'd say so. With an uphill approach, it's gonna, so it's gonna play a little longer for him on a putt or a jump putt. All
right, so Taylor now with his third shot. And it skips up 35 feet from the basket. So a little bit of work to do, but
looks like it just came out a little early there. Not necessarily the line he was going for, but he got past the tree line, so that should give him a solid chance for a putt.
All right, Dustin Nelson now opportunity to bag a 3 on this hole.
And John, this is where strategy comes in. Does Dustin just try to lay it underneath and force Jimmy to run that long putt?
Let's see. And just short, he's right underneath. So now Jimmy Taylor with the difficult putt. He has to make this in order to keep this hole as a push and stay up in the match. And no wind to speak of at the moment. It's just Jimmy in the chains. And he had the height, he had the power. Looks like he was just right of the basket.
Yeah, he knew he had to give it a good bid. That's going to be a tap in there for Dustin to take the hole. But, you got to applaud the effort there. He knew what he had to do, and he definitely didn't leave it short, that's for sure.
Yeah, so Dustin Nelson drops his disc in, takes hole 3. We're back to all square, heading to hole 4. Everyone stay tuned. back hole 4. Dustin Nelson has the tee. The match is all square. A laser straight shot, maybe just a little bit too much distance for him. Jimmy Taylor now. And his release was, it looked like the disc came out just a little early, Darius. He's a little left of the fairway and in the rough.
Yeah, missed his line there off the tee, left side. Didn't look like he didn't get any bad kicks or anything, so he shouldn't be deep. Well, that's a relative term. He shouldn't be too awful bad in there. Should be able to play out. Of course, you can't say that until you get in there and look at it.
Right. There are plenty of windows.
Yeah.
In that left side of
the real issue that I've found over there on the left side is there's a barbed wire fence that is kind of halfway up, halfway down. That more than anything, it catches you off guard as you're walking through there. Looks like it's really grown up, and it's tough to get in there, as you see.
Taylor's looking. Yeah, it's a tough. It can sometimes be difficult to find your disc, which is why those bright colors help. You see a lot of crazy colored discs in disc golf, and this is one of the reasons why.
Yeah, this time of year, you throw those darker shades of disc, it definitely complicates things just a little. As we get a little closer, you can see how thick this green really is.
Yeah, and plenty of thorns and thistles and other things mixed in, just to keep things interesting. But it is a challenge to try and find a disc in these areas. But you see all hands on deck looking for the disc here, trying to help Jimmy Taylor out. He has found the disc, so he's going to have some narrow gaps to negotiate back to the fairway. And
definitely going to be tight. As we saw, I believe it was Saturday, Bradford actually ended up over here, and he had a very good shot out. I think he threw a thumber to get back out in the middle of the fairway.
I think you're right.
You know, when you get in here, that's when you really got to get creative with your shot selection.
So he always has the option to throw backwards through these larger gaps just back into the fairway, or some narrow gaps to try to get closer to the dog leg. So here's Taylor with his second shot. And he took the riskier gap, and it looks like it might have paid off for him, Darius.
Yeah, he's up there. Can't exactly see the end result, but he's out. You know, that's always a big challenge within itself.
Yeah, so great play there by Jimmy Taylor from that position. We do see the disc now. He is cleanly out of the rough.
Didn't quite make it to the dog leg, but again, that's from there. You can't ask for too much more than that, you know.
Yeah, so Jimmy Taylor now with his third shot. And he just tosses it up around the dog leg bend
perfectly
safely in the fairway.
To the middle of the fairway, give himself a good shot. At some point, you know, you have to just take your medicine and play your disc where it lies.
All right, Dustin Nelson now with his second shot. Hole 4, he has a good 200 plus feet to the basket, all the way down at the end. And it hung just a little bit on the right side of the fairway. He had a nice kick from the trees back left into the fairway, Darius.
Yeah, that was a really good tree.
I think that's my first time ever forehanding it.
And yeah, Dustin Nelson, not a predominant forehand player, so
it showed.
You can see it's a slightly right hand path here to the basket. It's Jimmy Taylor now with his fourth shot. Hits a tree on the left side and kicks back right near Dustin Nelson's disc.
Well, again, at least I only lose one.
Yeah, you know, John, I think that's the third time we've seen him release just a little earlier than he wanted. You know, he's going to have to really get refocused here and get his release point back. You know, that's 3 shots that we've seen that happen on now here in the last couple holes.
This is one of those holes that really seems to compound strokes on guys when they get offline. It's like it just gets in your head. There's plenty of room in this fairway. It's definitely not one of the tighter holes in Middle Tennessee, but for whatever reason, it can really mess with people's games. All right, Dustin Nelson now 3rd shot, hole 4. He went with a forehand approach and finesses it within about 25 feet of the basket. And Jimmy Taylor with an almost impossible lie to try to get a clean shot. He tomahawked it out and went back in the woods on the other side there.
Yeah, this is one of those perfect scenarios where they call it Army golf, because you're going left, then you're going right, then you're going left, then you're going right.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe it, Darius.
And you know, that's
happened to all of us.
Oh, well, you know, you're not a real disc golfer if it hasn't happened to you. You know, it's one of those things. No matter how good you are, it happens. And this hole just will show you just how easy it is to really. Once you get off the fairway, it's hard to get back on.
That's dead and detached.
All right, so Taylor now runs it at the basket. Great attempt. And
Sits down 5 feet, 7 feet from the basket. So that's going to be a really good shot. Had some good trees there to
he'll
catch
have
him
a
as a
tap in from
backboard.
there. But Dustin Nelson now, if he makes this, he wins hole 4 to take his first lead of the match. And it's in. Dustin Nelson wins hole 4. He's now 1 up. We'll see everyone at hole 5 in just a minute. Back hole 5. Dustin Nelson's 1 up. He has the tee. And he was hoping that would turn for him, but it does get a nice kick and roll at the end off the left side, and he's going to be sitting pretty, Darius.
Oh, yeah, that was a really good shot. Just straight down the middle of the fairway with the putter.
All right, Taylor now tee shot hole 5.
Turn, baby.
And he was starting to get a good turn for him, but he hit the tree and it kicked it hard left.
Yeah,
so
definitely did not get a fortunate kick there. It went deep left. A good looking shot though. He had a good bit of turn. Just started stabling up there at the end. And of course, follow that up with a tough tree kick to the left side.
Yeah, that's the thing. You know, you just move half an inch right, and that thing's kicking right at the basket.
Yeah,
so.
you know, and that's. You know, Dustin, same thing. His disc was a lot straighter than he expected or wanted. He got a good kick and roll, and I mean, he's underneath the basket. You know, Jimmy gets a bad kick, and he's 30 feet off the fairway. You know,
that's disc golf for you. That's part of what makes it fun.
We just summed it all up in about 42 seconds.
All right, but there are plenty of gaps depending on where you lie here on this left side. So
Yeah, the left
you can't
side
give up.
and the right side, both in this fairway, have both been cleaned up. Very nice.
And Dustin Nelson is right under the basket.
I can't think of a better kick than that.
So worked out very well for him. Okay, here's Jimmy Taylor now with his second shot, hole 5. He gives it a run and it's in. Wow.
My goodness, my goodness.
That is a shot of the tournament candidate right there, Darius.
You know what? Go ahead and start the slow match, John. You know which button to push. That was amazing.
Wow.
You know, Dustin's putt was nice and all, but I don't think it can compare. That was what a great way to end this hole.
So hole 5, both competitors with a 2. It's a push. Dustin Nelson's still 1 up. Stay tuned. We're heading to birdie row next in hole 6. All right, we are back, hole 6, 355 feet down the hill. Road to the right is out of bounds. Dustin Nelson's 1 up. He has the tee. And big backhand hyzer out right side of the fairway and crashing toward the basket. And he is parked if that disc will sit down.
And
It's
it doesn't,
not.
John. That's going to be edge of the woods.
Wow.
Still only 30, 40 feet. But
All right, Taylor now. And he narrowly escapes the pines. And he's also going to be on the left side of the fairway.
Looks like he actually rolled into the edge of the tree line as well.
So similar positions there for both those guys. We'll have to see if one of them can dial in a putt.
Looks like Dustin went long. Now Jimmy's, I believe he's pin high. Again, both players at the edge of the tree line, but Jimmy's going to have more of a level putt, whereas Dustin's going to have more of an uphill just because of the position with him being behind the basket. I think both players are about equal distance away from the basket, though. It's just more so of the angle of the putts where it's going to differ.
We're going to have to see if Dustin Nelson can keep that putt at a proper attitude to get up into the basket and not hit low and roll away into the ditch down there.
Definitely
We've seen that a couple of times here today, Darius.
Yeah, definitely going to have to compensate for sure with the uphill. And, naturally with uphill, you want to bring your putt up. So maybe that's going to help him compensate for him missing low so far. But I will say, when you put him underneath the basket like he did on hole 5, it doesn't really matter how low or high your putt is, and when you're just dropping it in.
That took play of the tournament material from Jimmy Taylor just to get that hole as a push.
Definitely, and it's one of those things we talked about it. Every match so far is just momentum. That's going to get him feeling it. On these putts right here, he just is going to have more confidence naturally.
So Jimmy Taylor's out in the open.
Yeah, definitely ended up a little better than I thought. I thought we had saw it rolled more towards the edge. So
All right, Jimmy Taylor now with his second shot, hole 6. And a little left, a little long. So 15 feet back to the basket. All right, Dustin Nelson now he's right on the edge of the fairway. He's actually going to be kind of back in the rough. So that'll be a little bit of a distraction for him.
yeah, looks like he has some thorns or some bushes rubbing around on the back of his calves, and not to mention he's forced to go with a straddle putt stance here. So
Yeah, that can make a gimme shot difficult. Just gotta tune in to the chains, ignore those branches. Here he is with his second shot, and he missed. Looked like just a little bit to the left side. Had
Yeah.
the distance though.
yeah, I think that those tree limbs on his right shoulder there really forced him to go more left than he wanted.
All right, Taylor now with his par putt, and just a little right, and maybe a little low. So Nelson, opportunity to take hole 6. He does that. Dustin Nelson now 2 up, heading to hole 7. We'll see everyone there in just a minute.
Go
back.
left so you can
Hole
tee.
7, Dustin Nelson 2 up. He has the tee. And he gets cleanly through the gap, but it hits a little low, and he slides to a stop 40 feet from the basket. Taylor now. And he had a little bit more of a zip on it. And he got a good kick from the tree. He is back within 5 feet. Great shot there by Taylor.
Yeah, I with such a guarded tee here, I couldn't quite see the full flight of the disc there, but I saw the end result, and that's good for me.
Yeah, we've heard that before. That's for sure.
Who is it? This is it? It's that Dave guy. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, speaking of Dave Quinn, he had a great match against Jimmy Taylor in the first round.
Oh,
Jimmy just coming out on top.
yeah. I mean, it came down to hole 18, the matches we like to see. He put up a pretty good fight for an old guy.
All right, so Dustin Nelson now, he's out. He'll get the first attempt at this hole 7 basket. Here he is with his second shot. And it's just a little bit right. So Jimmy Taylor, opportunity to get one back on Nelson. And he does just that. Solid hole by Taylor. Nelson's now 1 up, heading to hole 8. We'll see you there in just a minute. back hole 8, Taylor with the tee.
That looks good.
And you can hear Nelson there complimenting that shot. It was in pretty good flight. He's maybe just a little short.
Yeah, definitely a good
but
looking shot.
He'll have a
there.
good opportunity to. Nelson now with his tee shot. He has a big left-hand hyzer crashing right at the basket. It's in. He has the ace. The second ace ever in US Amateur Match Play Championship here at Woodland Park. Wow.
What do I say, John? What do I say? Like the most nonchalant celebration, the most pretty hyzer, you know, like I mean, that's it. That's it. Like,
I think we're just gonna have to submit this video to ESPN. I mean, we have all the top 10 highlights.
You
There's
know
nothing
what?
else going on right
I'm
now,
just
right?
saying.
I
You
mean,
know, we said that Jimmy Taylor had the shot of the match on hole 5, and Dustin said, "Hold my beer, watch this." You know, and
drains it.
Drains it. You know, absolutely. That's doesn't get much better than that.
Yeah, so exciting hole there for all involved. Dustin Nelson is going to take hole 8
You know,
with a hole-in-one. There's not much you can do at that point.
yeah,
so.
yeah, definitely not. You know, it doesn't get better than that. That's ideal, textbook.
All right, so Nelson's now 2 up. We'll see everyone hole 9 in just a minute. Stay tuned. All right, we're back. Hole 9, Nelson with the tee after the hole-in-one on 8. He got some power on that one, Darius, but it just hits the ground and crashes out. Taylor now gets sneaky around those branches, and both competitors are maybe 3/4 of the way up the fairway.
Yeah, both of them left it a little short. But again, right in the middle of the fairway, moving in the right direction. So.
Yeah, it's a long 247 feet up to the basket. The virtue of the 2 trees guarding the fairway right off the tee, and then also guarding your approach into the green up here. And when this pin moves to its alternate position, hopefully in the coming days or weeks, the difficulty of this hole is just going to increase that much more, Darius.
Yeah, you know, this is one that I'm not looking forward to. Although it's gonna make the hole much better. It's gonna be a all around more difficult, more fun pin position. I'm not. My score is gonna probably lose a stroke on this hole, to say the least.
All right, Taylor now with his second shot, hole 9. And he gave it a good bid, and he's nicely within 10 feet of the basket for a par putt.
Yeah, looks like he had another early release there, but again, just laid it close.
And that elevation comes into play too, and you have the disc that's going to break left at the end. All right, Nelson now, second shot, hole 9. just clips a branch, and he's also just to the left toward the out of bounds road with Taylor.
I don't know if it was the limbs in front of him. He made the decision to go with a straddle putt stance. It could have just been the uphill, I'm not sure, but just a little left side.
All right, so Jimmy Taylor with the first stab at the 9 basket. And confidently into the chains.
Cans it dead center, right where he wanted. Put the pressure on Dustin here.
And Nelson also in with confidence. So hole 9's a push, Nelson 2 up. We'll take you to the back 9 and hole 10 in just a minute. Stay tuned. We're here, hole 10. Started the back 9. Nelson with the tee. He's 2 up. And clean, low backhand turnover. And it is, wow. One of the best shots we've seen on this hole so far in this tournament, Darius.
Get one.
All right, Taylor now. And he was also going for that backhand turnover. It just cut maybe a centimeter left and nicked that tree.
Yeah, that's the one tree to beat. You know, he had it on the right line. I'd say he even had a little better height there than Dustin had, you know, to get further down the fairway, and just clipped the inside of this tree here.
Yeah, that's too bad. That would have been a lot of fun to see where that disc was going to end up, because like you said, it had some nice height on it, and it was turning over nicely too.
Yeah, he definitely put a good move on it. You know, it was moving in all the right directions. So.
All right, so Taylor will be first up with his second shot toward this hole 10 alternate basket, which is quite a ways off from here, probably 400 or more feet, and has an out of bounds road just behind the basket. It's heavily guarded by trees in the green. All right, so Taylor walks up to mark his disc. Here's Jimmy Taylor's second shot, hole 10. And he clips 2 branches, but he had enough juice on it to get down into that right side of the fairway. Great shot.
Yeah, that was solid. Honestly, I can't imagine someone drawing it up better than that. You know, those 2 limbs may have took a little off of it, but he still got so far, and he's dead in the center. You know, you can't expect much more.
No, that was great recovery from that unfortunate nick on the tee shot. And I think Dustin Nelson, it looked like with his tee shot, he was cleanly all the way down into this opening on the right side of the fairway.
Yeah, you know, the only thing about his shot is it was a little low, but he had so much power on it, John. It just rode the ground almost, you know, and he even got a nice forward skip there at the end of it when it landed.
Yeah, so this will be another opportunity for Nelson to start to put his foot down on the gas pedal and accelerate his way to the semifinals. But first he has to execute this second shot on hole 10. That was just a finesse shot through the trees.
Yeah.
You couldn't draw it up any better than that.
No, left himself probably just outside of 15 feet, I would say, maybe a little closer to 20, but
I was going for the left gap.
as you heard him, he missed his line, but he's
couldn't tell.
he's gonna give himself a good putt there for 3.
All right, so Taylor now with his third shot, hole 10. And he gets sneaky and
Yeah, definitely pulled it just a little bit, but got through there. And I'd say he's only 10 feet from the basket, so it's gonna put some pressure back on Dustin here, you know, to see if he can tap in for his birdie here. Like I said, he's about 15, 17 feet or so.
yeah, I think Jimmy Taylor, he knew he had to make that, so he definitely had enough power on that to reach the basket. Just a tough line. All right, Dustin Nelson now with his third shot, an opportunity to win hole 10. And it's in. Dustin Nelson wins 10. He's now 3 up, and we'll be heading to hole 11 in just a minute. Stay tuned. Okay, we are back. Hole 11. Dustin Nelson now 3 up, and he has the tee. He throws the Vandal there, it looks like, and gets just a very slight turnover and a strong finish to the left. He'll be sitting pretty for his second shot. Taylor now, tee shot, hole 11. And his shot's also looking pretty nice. He'll have a clean line to approach the basket with his second shot.
Yeah, both players here elected to take the backhand route, which is definitely there if you have it. Dustin had a really good move on the disc, and so did Jimmy Taylor. He came just a little short. Dustin, I think he may have faded more down than him, so left of the basket. I believe he still ended up short as well. But both players got themselves in really good positions here for their second shots.
Yeah, I don't think many people would complain if they ended up where these guys did, especially in a tournament with stroke play. You know, that would be phenomenal.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, both players are in really good position here to attack the basket. I mean, nonetheless. So, you know, we're getting to that point in the match where I think Jimmy's really got to start making some decisions on whether he wants to get aggressive or just keep on, you know, playing strategic. He's really got to hone in on his strategy.
And he was really hanging around that first match against Dave Quint, so he definitely has the mental fortitude to do that. So here's Taylor with his second shot, hole 11. And hits an early branch.
Yeah, knocked him straight down, took everything out of that disc. Not going to be too happy with that, but he's really going to have to regain his composure here and just try not to go down here.
Yeah, he'll have a relatively clean line at the basket, though.
Yeah.
The one threat really is the slope. It's a sharp, steep gradient from right to left. Here's Taylor with his third shot. And it had the juice. It looked right on.
Yeah, he gave it a really good bid there. Just missed just a little right side long.
So Dustin Nelson's going to be putting 40 feet uphill back to the basket. So really all he has to do here to win the hole, Darius, is lay it up and drop in that third shot.
Yeah, which, you know, we've seen him be pretty aggressive so far today. So
Last thing you want to have happen here is to hit the cage and have a roll away back down the hill. And he went for it pretty well. Just a little short, but that's gonna win the hole for him there.
yeah, you can see there he just gave it a half run. You know, he didn't want to get crazy with it.
And Jimmy Taylor in with the 4. And Nelson walks up for the 5-footer to win hole 11. And he tosses it in and takes hole 11 with a 3. Nelson now 4 up, heading to hole 12. We'll see everyone there in just a minute. Stay tuned.